Hey there, I wanted to pop in for a minute and share how playing the GLAD game helped me to get over, or actually it'd be more accurate to say, it helped me to release and accept a huge disappointment. Before I start, I'm going to go ahead and light this candle and take a breath. As I do so, I invite you to do the same. So the breath helps to clear us, it helps us to connect us, it helps us to come back into our bodies and be mindful of who we are and what we want to create. And it just helps our bodies to calm down and our minds to calm down. So I always like to begin by lighting a candle that reminds me of my intention of who I want to be in the world and how I want to treat life as sacred. So ooh, it feels good to take a breath. Oh yeah, so I want to talk to you today about playing the GLAD game and a disappointment that happened about a year ago. So December is reminding me about what happened about a year ago. My husband and I had made plans and bought tickets to go visit my family in northern Idaho. And I was so excited about this trip because it was going to be the first time that my little family was going to be able to get together with my sister and her new family. And my sister and I are best friends, so I really wanted to see her. It had been a long time since we'd had a chance to see each other. And my parents live up there. And so we had this whole week planned. We were going to be able to get together and share some really lovely time. So my husband and I get everything packed in the car and we drive to the airport. And literally, like the minute that we turn onto the airport road or driveway or whatever it is, Arthur starts throwing up. So we had a choice about whether or not we were going to go ahead and take a potentially sick 1.5-year-old on the airplane, or are we going to turn around and go home? And after talking about it, we realized it wouldn't be fair to take this tiny little person on an airplane while he was sick, and how much more comfortable it is for me to be in my own home sick rather than having to be on an airplane traveling or in an airport or in somebody else's home. So we turned around and went home, and I think I cried most of the trip back to our home. And I just had this huge feeling of disappointment and like almost, it felt like depression, even though it wasn't depression. It was just this huge letdown because I missed my sister so much, and all I wanted to do was be face to face with her. And I wanted to be around my niece and let my son be with his niece. I'm almost crying thinking about it. Like there's still a sting there. And I felt like that for the whole rest of the day, and the whole next day was just really heavy with this disappointment. And for some reason, I thought about a movie I watched when I was a little girl. It's called Pollyanna. I wonder if any of you watched Pollyanna? I don't know. I talked about it to the kids that I work with at the library. They're like, yeah, what? They have no idea what it is. But it's this Disney movie about a girl who was orphaned. Both of her parents died, and her dad, who she really adored, had just recently died, and she had to go and live with this aunt she'd never met before. And this aunt is really this disconnected, cold kind of person. And so Pollyanna showed up in a house where there were no other children and an aunt that didn't really know what to do with her. And she began to share this GLAD game with everybody around her, all the folks in the town and the service workers. And she had this perspective on life that was so different than anybody else in the house. And even though she had experienced such tragedy, she was able to play the GLAD game to help her to see what she could be happy about and glad for in her life. And so she started to teach these people. And so I decided this might be one way that I can shift what I'm feeling, because honestly, I had tried to say, well, I need to be grateful for what I do have. And I had tried to access that feeling of gratitude, and I just couldn't get there because I was in this huge feeling in my whole body of disappointment. Decided to try to play the glad game, and here's how it kind of went for me. I said, well, what can I be glad about in this situation? I can say I could be glad I'm not on an airplane with a puking baby. I can be glad that I'm not in the weather up there, because when we were supposed to be there, it was supposed to be like 3 degrees below zero. I'm from Southern California. I don't do weather that cold, right? So I started to say, okay, I can be glad about this. I can be glad about that. Finding whatever small thing I could be glad about. And I am telling you, after I had done that a few times over, I was able to, I was able to start to shift that feeling of disappointment. First, it began to lift from my heart, like in my belly up through my heart. I could feel it begin lifting, like in my actual body. And then I just kept playing it because I knew that it was making a difference. And I can't say that I felt 100% better on that same day that I started doing that, but it definitely allowed me to enjoy the next few days with my family. My husband still had time off, and he doesn't get a lot of time off. And instead of feeling really miserable and sorry for myself for the rest of his vacation, I was able to kind of come back and be more mindful. So the glad game actually allowed me to access gratitude. And gratitude is something that I really, really value in my life. I mean, besides the fact that all the research talks about the amazing benefits, I mean, we're talking about a decade at least where the research is overwhelming about the benefit of gratitude. Set that aside, is my experience of gratitude over the last about 2.5 years. I've really been practicing it basically since my son was born. Gratitude has definitely helped me to access feelings that are much more pleasant to experience, and it's allowed me to express my gratitude to others, which is, it's so delicious when we can actually tell other people how much they mean to us and be really like intentional about that, right? Like not just doing it on their birthdays or whatever, but having the chance to not only experience the gratitude in my body, but be able to share it with others, whether that's through donations or to be able to verbally tell someone or write them a card. So I began to practice gratitude in the mornings. The mornings when you first wake up, it's this really powerful time of day where your mind is kind of empty and you really want to fill it up with all that makes you feel good and positive and hopeful and happy. So it's a perfect time of day to actually have a gratitude practice, whether that's saying it out loud or writing it down. Over the years, I've had different forms, because the one thing about gratitude is if you just do it by habit, or you do it like out of this, just kind of wrote, okay, and check this off my list of things to do today, it becomes stale and it's not going to benefit you. So I've had different ways that I've practiced gratitude, making it a part of my everyday life. And then I've also used gratitude to help me to shift out of feelings of like resentment and jealousy, the kind of drama and feeling sorry for myself. Gratitude is like the best antidote for those feelings. And so that's kind of 2 ways that I've used gratitude. I'm going to actually be talking about gratitude more when I hold my next Mama Sisterhood Circle, which is going to be held on Saturday, December 30th at 10 a.m. at the Antelope Valley Birth Center. And I'm excited about that because you'll actually be able to have a chance to practice the glad game and see and feel it for yourself, and also to see how you can incorporate gratitude in your life in a way that doesn't burden you or make you feel like you have to do something else. another thing I have to do. And then also I have some ideas about how to integrate gratitude into your everyday life with your family. How can we share this with our children? Because it is such an amazing and beautiful feeling and practice to experience. And so that's what I'm going to be doing at my next Mama Sisterhood Circle. I hope some of you who are local will be able to join. And I see that there's some people here Amanda, yes, our children do come first, and absolutely re-sacrifice. My sacrifice made me cry for a long time, and I'm just glad I thought about the glad game. It really helped me to accept my disappointment and move past. I don't know if I moved past it, but to accept it and to release it in a way. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Definitely have more to share about gratitude because I love it so much. It's been such a huge gift to me in my life. But the last thing I want to do as a gift for you is to draw an oracle card for you today. I have the Magic of Flowers deck. This is what it looks like. And because I absolutely am obsessed with flowers, this deck, when I discovered it, I'm like, yay! This is so exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down, get connected to my own breath and get connected to the center, my own center, and pull a card for you. Hopefully this will be something that will help you in your day. So I just asked the deck, what do the people watching need to hear today? And the card that I drew is called Hyacinth. Hyacinths bloom in the spring. They're a bulb. Really beautiful color of purple, shade of purple. So let me just read this real quick for you. Okay, so this card is Irresistible Attraction, and it says the hyacinth's specialties are abundance and luxury, attracting gifts, charm, irresistibility, glamour, and influence. Ooh, this is a juicy card. I've never drawn this before. So guys, sounds like you are gonna be open to receiving glamour and luxury and abundance. This is awesome. So it says it is the very nature of Hyacinth to magnetize the attention and devotion of other beings with her exquisite beauty and irresistible fragrance. Similarly, in this instance, you are called upon to use your powers of attraction to bring about your desired outcome. This situation requires you to behave more like a magnet than a dart, to stay right where you are and draw your desire with the irresistible force of your own attractiveness. Now, they have a couple of ideas of how you might do this. And if something like this resonates, then I invite you to really follow up on it. So it says, relax and allow your blessings and desires to naturally flow to you of their own accord. Magnetize your desired conditions in a mellow and leisurely manner, trusting that every little thing you need will arrive with perfect timing. Release the belief that you need to rush around, proactively strategize, or force anything to happen. Oh my gosh, this one I need. Release the belief that I need to force anything to happen. Get more into your feminine energy. Revel in your own beauty through conscious self-care and self-adornment. And concentrate on being rather than doing. Notice the beauty that is within you and all around you. And revel in the luxury and blessings that you already have, remembering that what you focus on expands. So how perfect for gratitude. What you focus on expands. And gratitude can only expand the love and abundance in your life. So what a powerful and juicy, delicious card. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Blessings.